Hello everyone, I welcome you all to this tutorial on scraping location ID from the BBC weather website. So before getting into the tutorial, let me just give you a context on what exactly are we trying to do here. Right, so if you go to the BBC weather website, so there'll be a search bar where you can type in any city name. Let's say I'm this time typing Palo Alto, and then it gives you a suggestion. Once you click it, it should give you the weather report for the next 10 days for Palo Alto. So what exactly happening in the backend is when you type a string, there is an API call that's being made, and then for that particular string that you have typed, it returns you a location ID. Every set of latitude longitude is tagged to a location ID. So once you have the location ID, it's very easy for you to hit the database and pull the weather information for that particular location ID. So if we scrape this particular location ID, then we would be able to scrape the location weather details of that location as well, and that's exactly the purpose we are going to do. So now let me again go to the home page of BBC weather. So let's just see how what happens in the backend. So if I right click and give inspect element, be it Chrome or in any browser, you get a separate window where you can monitor and track a bunch of website interactions and activities that's happening in real time, right? So you can see this black window in the right side of my console. Now I'm going here to this double arrow and clicking network. So what happens when I click network is it shows you all the API calls that's being made in whatever interaction I'm doing to the website. So these are the calls that you can see. Now I'm placing my cursor here, and let's say I'm typing a different city name, this time Los Angeles. So you can see here there's a call being made, location API, and if I double click it, let me zoom it. So this is exactly the JSON or the API that is being responded to that string Los Angeles that I have typed. So if you see, it has a key called ID, which is 5368361, name or actual name of the city, the country of the city, latitude, longitude, and a bunch of other details. So from this particular API, what I am interested right now is just this particular ID 5368361. So let's see how do we scrape this using Python. So now let me import the necessary libraries. So I'm importing request to pull the API and JSON to convert it into a dictionary object. And I'm using a library called URL encode. So if you see that particular very long URL of the API, it might look a bit ugly. So we are going to give it some structure using URL encode. So let me load all these libraries. Yeah. So now coming to the location URL, the API URL basically, I am giving the test city as some city name, let's say New York. And the URL, if you see, if I go to this URL, it has two parts. The first part is kind of the prefix which is constant for any location. So let me just show you that to you. Yeah, so if you see https and blah blah bbci.co.uk location, this is constant, and then a bunch of key value argument pairs, API key equal to search string equal to, which is your search string, and another thing equal to, there are a bunch of arguments which are concatenated, and it makes the URL a bit ugly. So what we are going to do is we are going to give the constant static prefix and then use URL encode to construct the remaining part by just specifying key value pairs where yes is the search string and the whatever name you have typed, and remaining things you just pull from the URL and give it here. So now URL encode will create that particular long URL string for you, and it makes your job and life very easy. And now I'm going to pass this URL to request.get, and I'm converting it to a JSON object. So if you see the result which is printed, yeah, I just have a dictionary with response which has results in it. Inside results, I do have what I need, ID 5128581. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the results key and in the response, and inside results I'm going to ask for the ID, and that's exactly what I'm doing. And now I got my key which is 5128581. Now let me just put everything everything into a single nice function where you can just pass the city name as an argument, and then the function returns you the location ID. So if you see the first step, I'm converting the city name into lowercase just in case I have to standardize, because you can type in any case you want. And then I have copy pasted this location URL, and then I have got the JSON. From the JSON I parse ID, and it is being returned. So let's now quickly test this function by passing a new city name, which is Toronto, and voila, you got it, right? 6167865 is the ID. So now you can use this ID and then pull the weather information as well, which you will see in the next part. But this is a tutorial on how you can pull or scrape ID given a particular API call. Thank you.